Good morning. It's June 19th and it's been hot this last week in the hundreds. We've had excessive heat warnings. It's expected to be that way all this week, and it's like 80 degrees right now. And I just wanted to point out that bougainvillea, oleander plant up there that the neighbors have. I just think that's so impressive. It's massive how gorgeous that plant is. Anyway, it's time for a garden tour. Today I'm going to start with the plumbago that we pulled out of the area around the fountain, and it's coming back to life, so it's really kind of pretty. And our marigolds are doing pretty good. I still haven't planted anything in this pot, but there's some little seedlings coming up because of the compost. This is our black cherry tomato plant. It's doing pretty good. And then I planted scallops in here. I planted 3 of them. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's the 3rd one over there. And then there's some little seedlings coming in that I'll pull out probably. Here's a cherry tomato and our tomatillo. It's got lots of blooms on it, no fruit yet. We've been fighting the pests on this one. We've been doing pest patrol just about every day and getting a lot of cucumber beetles. My husband's been using some organics mix of garlic and cloves and cinnamon and all sorts of things like that, and I think we've kept them at bay so far. And this is the other tomatillo, and they've been more prominent on this plant, but I bet you we've taken probably 20 or 30 bugs picked off of them. This is zucchini. I have 3 of them coming up here, so that'll be nice for later this summer. There's the celosia. My dahlias aren't looking too good. I don't know that they like this weather. We've treated the soil here with some mix that hopefully it'll help perk everything up. And then my husband laid down some more mulch, black mulch. And then I had a nice surprise this week. I had a gladiola that's almost orange in color, which I was getting all of the regular purplish burgundy color, and so that's a nice change, plus that pink one, kind of a bubblegum pink color, so it's pretty. There's some purple basil. I've been using that. There's some green basil, and I have some German thyme that's blooming over here. There's a little squash plant with some little yellow squash on it. We've harvested quite a bit. This chard is taking its time going to seed, or drying at least, so I haven't pulled it, and it's kind of weakening this tomato, but not much I can do about it. But this has the kind of cherry tomatoes on it that I like. The little round, fat ones. These are pepper plants. Got some some grape tomatoes back in this tomato plant that are starting to turn green. And then my husband went around, and basically after the horrible winds that we had, he trimmed up everything that had wind damage, and we had lots of wind damage. And So we're still kind of trimming and doing all sorts of things because of the wind. This is a huge plant, but it's not got a whole lot of tomatoes. Well, I guess it's got hidden tomatoes everywhere, I guess. More than I thought. This is another, oh, I got a squash back in there that's probably about ready to pick. Lots of Roma tomatoes. I love those for sauces, and I just made some dried tomatoes and froze them. I was going to put them in olive oil, but I didn't do that. And then see if I can show the zucchini or the spaghetti squash back in there. Pretty big. I don't know that there's any other ones. I was looking for little babies and I haven't. The wind and the heat kind of stress everything out. These are some of our zucchini that are coming over the side of the bed, which they did really good last year doing something similar in one of the other beds. So that's kind of why we thought we'd stick them on the edge there. I have a eggplant. No, well, I have eggplant, no eggplant fruit. I did get a cucumber off of this plant. These peppers, pecan or whatever, that is such a delicate, it's lacy, that pepper plant. I really like it. And these are unusual pepper plants. These are chili bombero. Look at how tall they get. Tall and skinny. Here's a bunch of Romas, and we had a branch that broke off of this. It was so heavy with tomatoes it broke. So, there's a red tomato that's coming in there. Got a zucchini there that's ready to pick. That plant's kind of bouncing back. And then I pulled the arugula that was in that pot. I let it kind of go to seed, and then now the tomato stands alone. There's some chard, rainbow chard. It's got the yellow and the red. This one's going to seed. I do pick this and eat chard every once in a while. There's my radishes, and I picked up one and they're really hot. We got an Anaheim pepper the other day that was dragging the ground. There's a little squash. There's some eggplant flowers. I think eggplant is a pretty plant. And we've got a ladybug on my zucchini right there. So that's the vegetable garden. My husband's been treating the bougainvilleas. He's had some curling leaves, so he's been concerned about that, and so he's done some feeding of those. This Cape honeysuckle is thriving in the heat. It really likes the heat. it's the only thing we've been able to grow there. We've tried all sorts of different types of things to get some height against our house, and that's the one thing that's done well. Poblano peppers, the rue, which I still need to read about that. I don't even know what to do with rue. I just thought it was pretty lacy. Here's the tomato plant transplants that we did a week or so ago. They're doing well. This is another Cape honeysuckle. I put it in a year later, once the other one took hold. We had these another place in our yard and they weren't doing real well. So when I saw the one down at the end was doing so well, I transplanted this one into this pot. And so it's a little smaller than the other one, but it's catching up. Around the fountain, I'm not so sure. Might have been the wrong time to plant, or could just be it's not the best environment for them. We'll see. My impatience of this plant. I'm thinking about transplanting it. It just really does not like when the sun hits it. This one back here is doing so much better because it's shaded most of the day. And this is my impatience. I probably should show off the plant more than the sticker. But it keeps continuing to flower. I'm still not sure what's in this pot, but whatever that thing is, I'm letting it grow. Here's our self-watering and over on this side of the house. I'm getting a bloom on my okra. I think the okra blooms are really pretty. I pinched back all of the petunias, so I don't really have any blooms happening here, and I'll probably cut these a little bit too. So maybe next week they'll be pretty. There's another bloom coming on my okra. And then this is the bed that's a little stunted, but doing okay, I guess. My gazanias. There's some pretty ones, I don't know. There's none that's really open. That's a pretty gazania. And then I'm not going to go over on this side of the house just because the cooler's running non-stop. So this is blooming. I think that's everything. Thanks for watching. Today is June 17th. It's a Saturday, and this is what we've accumulated this week. Most of the tomatoes we picked today, but some of the other things are from a day or so ago. Here's this little cherry bomb. And then my few little strawberries that I have. And then this thing is almost like a gourd or something. I don't know. It kind of grew strange. And then I got another orange pepper. And here's a pepper. This pepper's kind of wilted, so And then my first cucumber, a little worn, but pretty good. Pretty good haul. Gonna be making salsa. I decided to make sun-dried tomatoes in the oven. I have a dehydrator, and so I decided that I was gonna do that. And then over here I made some strawberry salsa instead of tomato salsa. Today is Sunday the 18th, and we picked 2 cherry bomb peppers and 1 Anaheim. And the only reason we picked the Anaheim is that it was starting to drag on the ground. So I'm going to make those into some jambalaya tonight.